Good morning. Good morning, TGIF. Good morning. Thank God it's Friday. Oh my goodness. Anybody besides me? Happy that it's Friday. Good morning. Come on in. Let's talk this morning. Come on in. Let me know who's here. Yes. Let's do this. Happy Juneteenth, by the way. Thank God it's Friday. Good morning. Let's talk. I got a good topic for us today. I'm excited. All right. So I am going to go ahead and get this thing cracking. Good morning. Say good morning if you're tuning in. Say good morning. Yes. All right. So welcome to the Empower Her Experience podcast talk show. This is where we empower people to evolve emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and personally. So I am your host. Good morning, cousin Juanita. How are you this morning? Good morning. So today I got a good topic for y'all. We are going to talk about sis is not the right time. And listen, like this is something that this is for people who've had something, an ideal or a feeling or something or a vision or a dream. And somehow, good morning, Miss Dee Dee. You said something and it was too soon. Good morning, Dr. Adams. Good morning. Yes, I'm glad y'all ladies are on here. We're going to talk this morning. But yeah, so today's conversation is one that unfortunately a lot of people learn the hard way. And it's called Sis, It's Not Time Yet. So this is for anybody who has exposed things too early or said something openly or publicly. This is for the people who have been sharing and fresh wounds and fresh ideas and fresh dreams and fresh visions and unfinished plans with people who weren't safe enough to hold them properly. Oh my goodness. I gotta ask you, have y'all ever had that experience? I have. It doesn't feel good either. Doesn't feel good. But yes, we're gonna talk about that this morning. And first, before we really get into it, I want you to put one word in the chat that describes how you're feeling this morning. And I'm gonna give y'all mine. Mine is sleepy. Girl was up all night last night. All night. So I'm sleepy. But put one word, describe how you're feeling in the chat today. We're gonna check in with ourselves this morning before we get into this topic. See what y'all got. All right. Come on, what y'all got? How you feeling this morning? Miss Dee Dee said proud. Good. I know you on your healing journey. Intentional. Yes, I love it. That's my word right there. Intentional. Yes. Good. So we checked in. We know how we're feeling this morning. Good. So, but today we're going to talk about how we have put things or placed things in places that weren't safe enough to hold them properly. Good morning. Good morning, Elgita. Man, your girl's tired. She's sleepy. I just told him I stayed up all night like I'm a vampire. But Paul Morton, he's here. he's doing his honey-do list this morning. Thank you for joining this morning. Good morning, Tyranda. Good morning. How y'all doing? How you doing this morning, Elgita? How you doing this morning, sis Tyranda? Oh, grateful. I love that, Juanita. Grateful. Yes. Yes, but I got a good topic, y'all. And I want y'all to talk to me today so y'all can keep me up this morning. But yes, so we are talking about something that a lot of people have to learn the hard way. And I learned from you a long time ago at Ajita that you just can't tell everybody everything. I remember you told me that, and I will never forget that. But sometimes the issue is not that the dream is wrong or the timing. Sometimes the issue is that the timing was wrong. Sometimes the issue is not that the people are bad people. Oh, I love it. Victorious. I love it. They just don't have the capacity or the maturity or the wisdom or the emotional depth to handle what you are releasing. And one thing I've learned is that everybody clapping for you is not prepared to cover you. Everything doesn't need immediate announcement. It doesn't need immediate announcement because we live in a culture where people feel pressured that they got to announce everything immediately. If they get a new relationship, they got to post it. They get a new business idea, they got to tell everybody. They get a new opportunity, they got to make a status about it. Or a new vision from God. Good morning, Miss Jasmine. How you doing this morning? Good to see you. Good to have you on this morning. But they get a new vision from God, and then they got to broadcast it before it even develops roots. But some things need incubation before it has exposure, right? So it's like when you're carrying something, just for even the women on here, you've had kids. When you're carrying your your baby had to be incubated for 9 months before it was exposed, before it was brought to the world. It had to be fully developed before it was brought into the world. And some things are like that. Everything that is given to you, everything that is dropped into you, every vision, every dream, every goal, every idea, every business plan, visions, all of those things need incubation before they need exposure, because a seed is not planted so people can keep digging it up every 5 minutes to check to see if it's growing, right? And a lot of people have emotionally sabotaged themselves because they exposed something while it was still in its fragile state. Whew. Oh my goodness. And if we can for a moment, it's not a plug, but go back to the growing in the swamp. That's the very thing I talk about in the very first chapter of that book. That was the mistake that I made. Was I had an idea of vision God gave me, not an idea of vision, and it was 80% done, completed. I still had a little 20% to go. And so it wasn't done with its incubation period. And I disclosed it. And what I was met with was negativity and opposition, which in turn led frustration because the person on the other end, people on the other end could not see it because they didn't have every piece of the puzzle. And so sometimes we need to allow things to have its full development before we disclose it. Some visions are still developing. Even sometimes some healing is still forming. Like you might not be completely healed, but you're on your healing journey, and then you're telling people, "Yeah, I'm working on my healing. I'm working on." And then they say, "Girl, yesterday you just cut somebody out." I said, "I'm working on my healing. I don't need you to discourage me from what I'm trying to do or make me feel like the progress I have made is not progressing." Y'all catch what I'm saying? Some healing is still forming. Some confidence is still under construction. Yes, Miss Dee Dee, she said, I've learned to move in silence. Girl, me too. And when you release things too early, immature responses can make you question something that God already showed you. Have you ever told someone something that you hadn't completely done? It was just your idea. And then they start hitting you with, well, you know what? You should try this. Well, did you think about this? Well, what are you going to do about this? Well, it's like, wait, slow down. Whoa, 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 whoa. I was just telling you, the idea came to me. I didn't say that I was doing it right now. I didn't say it was ready yet. And so sometimes people can make you question something that God already showed you, and that's dangerous. Good morning, cousin. Good morning. Blessings to you. I'm glad I was able to be there last night. But now it's dangerous because they're making you question something that God already showed you and already was giving you the blueprint for. And so now you're allowing someone else's inability to see it to make you doubt what you know you heard. You know you heard it. You know God gave it to you. You know God told you. You know what he showed you. And then guess what? Now you're questioning that. And premature exposure can create emotional damage. I know it's exciting when God gives you something. I know it's exciting when you have a fresh idea. I know it's exciting when you have this new business venture. But the truth is, some things just need to wait. Everything doesn't need to be put out there. Every little thing doesn't need to be posted. Premature exposure can create emotional damage. Somebody put that in chat. Premature exposure. Premature exposure. So let's talk about premature exposure. Because sometimes the damage isn't physical. It is literally emotional. You shared that idea and then you got silence. You shared the dream and then you got skepticism. Like that, okay, come on, let's talk about Joseph. Y'all know about Joseph. I love Joseph. One of my favorite stories in the Bible. What did he do? He had this dream. And what did he do? He told the dream to the wrong people. So what did it do? It gave them time to try to stop it. I'm not saying they're going to stop you from your dream, but what did it do? What happened when he told them? When he told his brothers about his dream, he ended up getting thrown in the pit. Father being told he was dead. He ended up in prison. Ended up being accused of things. Premature exposure. You might have shared that healing journey and got judgment. You shared your excitement and then you got comparison to somebody else. Well, I'm not trying to do what they're doing. I'm doing what was given to me. Guess what? Premature exposure. You shared your vision and then you got people poking holes in it instead of watering it. And now you're discouraged because the vision died. But because the reason but because the response hurt you, not because the vision died, but because the response hurt you. Some people don't realize how vulnerable it is to release something that you deeply care about. That idea wasn't just a business idea. That vision wasn't just a project. That dream carried your prayers, your healing, your risks that you were taking, your time, your blood, sweat, and tears, your courage, your obedience. And then when people mishandle it, y'all, it feels very personal. I don't know about y'all, but it feels personal. But hear me carefully. Everybody is not qualified to handle sacred information. They are not. Some people only know how to evaluate things based on where they are. They're only able to handle based on the level that they are on. That's why safe spaces matter. Safe spaces matter. Everybody around you is not emotionally safe. And I think sometimes we confuse familiarity with safety. Now that deserves some fire. Familiarity doesn't equal safety. It does not. Just because someone has access to you does not mean they have the wisdom to hold your vulnerability responsibly. Man, I'm eating off my own plate this morning. Some people are good people. but they're unsafe listeners. Boy, they are good people, but unsafe listeners. Good morning, sister. Good morning, Miss Sherry. Yes, some people are good people, but unsafe listeners. Oh my gosh. Y'all, I had to repeat that a third time. Some people gossip. Some people got diarrhea of the mouth. Some people, like an old refrigerator, can't hold water. Some people compete with you. You ain't even thinking about anybody else. You just trying to do what you got to do. And there they are. You don't even know. You got some silent competition that you didn't even sign up for. Some people are people who just going to minimize you because that's the capacity of their small-mindedness. Some people are going to project their fear onto your future. They're scared to move on what was given to them. They're scared to move forward into their vision. They are scared to move forward with the dreams that they have or the goal that they have. And so they project those fears onto your future. Oh my goodness, what you gonna do? You gonna do that? What about what if it don't work? Guess what? I got a question. What if it does? So why am I going to sit here and continue delaying my future because you scared to walk into yours? Yes, what there is a possibility that it might not work. But guess what? There's a 50-50 chance that it will work. So either I can let fear stop me, and I can let you and your hesitancy and your projection stop me, or I can go ahead and step into what I need to do. It might not work the way I want it to, but guess what? Then I can pivot and do another thing, not give up on my dream, but change the way I get there. But some people will project their fears onto your future. Some people don't celebrate you because your growth exposes their stagnation. And if you're not careful, you'll keep bleeding emotionally, trying to get validation from emotionally unavailable people. People who don't even have the capacity to hold what you're trying to do. I'm not saying that makes you better. I'm not saying they're not good enough. I'm not saying they're not smart enough. I am saying your vision is not their vision. Your dream is not their dream. Your plan is not their plan. God's plan for you is not their plan for you. So they don't have the capacity to hold it. And you will continue to be disappointed over and over and bleeding emotionally, trying to get validation from these people who are not able to emotionally carry you. Man, remember this. You're going to hear this while you go throughout your day to day. Good people are good people, but not every good person is a safe listener. Safe spaces. This is how you know it's a safe space. They might say, I might not fully understand it, but I support you. They're going to say, oh, that's wonderful. That's beautiful. I'm so proud of you. Keep going. I'm praying for you. Wait, no, well, you don't have to explain every detail to me. Some of that you need to keep to yourself. Hold on to it. Good morning, Miss Gabrielle. Good morning, Miss April. Good morning, Dominique. Yes, all my ladies on this morning. You don't have to explain every detail. That's what a safe person says. A safe person says, I trust that you know what you're doing. I trust that you're following God's plan. Make sure that you let God lead you in everything that you're doing. Make sure that you're acknowledging Him along the way. That's what a safe space does. But let me tell you what an unsafe space looks like. Let's talk about that. An unsafe space. This is how you know. Are you sure about that? Why are you going to do that? That doesn't make sense. What do you mean? What if it don't work? Girl, you always doing something. That's not realistic. Well, I wouldn't do that. And sometimes people don't even realize how discouraging they sound. They don't realize it. You start to tell them, oh, you know what? I got this person, they asked me out, and so I'm finally ready to date again. And I'm like, girl, you shouldn't want nobody after everything you done been through. That's unsafe. Unsafe. Negative Nancy. There you go. Negative Nancy, messy Marvin, everything. And they don't realize how discouraging they sound. But wisdom teaches us that everybody does not get full access to those unfinished parts of you. They don't. Discernment is not secrecy. And some people say, "Oh, they just so secretive." No, I'm not just secretive. I just realized you just not a safe space, so I can't just tell you anything. I don't want every move that I make to be broadcasted. I don't want everything that I'm doing to be broadcasted. So no, I'm not secretive. I'm just using my discernment and I'm realizing what I'm dealing with. So we have to balance this because discernment is not secrecy, and it's not isolation. It is using wisdom. We need wisdom. Somebody put that in the chat. Wisdom. Walking in wisdom. So when I'm saying, sis, it's not time yet, I'm not saying it's not time for what it is that you're doing. I'm saying sometimes it's just not, it hasn't had its full incubation. So it's not time to be released yet. Good morning, Miss Bernicia. Yes, I love it. But it's saying, I'm not saying don't trust anybody. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't share anything. I'm not saying don't be vulnerable. That's not healthy either. What I'm saying is discernment simply means I know when to speak. I know what to release. I know who can handle it. So let me give you an example. If you had just had something amazing happen to you, and you already had a person that you told them something that happened that was good, that God blessed you with or to be able to do, and you told them before, and they was like, oh, okay. The next time you get some good news, if you go back to that one and tell them, guess what you're doing? You are setting yourself up for re-injury. When something good happens and you have a reason to celebrate, you better call that one that's going to say, girl, I love it. Do it. Girl, oh, this is amazing. This is going to be awesome. I'm so glad. I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you. I'm praying for you. Do not call the one that said, oh, okay. Don't do it. That's like having a open sore that heal and then you turn around and cut it open again. You are going to be disappointed. You got to know who can handle it. And I know, and you also got to know what season requires privacy. What season? Which she said, juicy celebrations. I know that's right, sis. Juicy celebrations. Good morning, Miss Angela. I need some pineapples this weekend. But you got to know what season requires privacy, because even Jesus himself did not reveal everything to everybody. I know I'm talking right. I know I'm talking right. I got one of my favorite preachers says, I got Bible. I know I'm talking right. Jesus didn't even reveal everything to everybody. Because let's talk about when he went up there on that mount. Guess what? He took his three. those three, Peter, James, and John. He took those three. Why? Because everybody cannot handle you in a vulnerable state. They can't handle the transfiguration. They got to wait until you done come down in order to be able to handle your capacity. Oh my gosh, look at her. Y'all, I ain't fixing to preach on this podcast this morning. I done did enough of that this week. But my God, you cannot. Even Jesus didn't reveal that. In his most intimate moments, when he went to the Garden of Gethsemane, he didn't have honey. He didn't have the 300. He didn't have the 5,000. He took the disciples with him into the garden. Everybody couldn't go in there. They couldn't handle seeing him in that state. Everybody can't handle seeing your idiosyncrasies, your vulnerability. Everybody can't handle that. They're not all safe spaces. So you have to be careful and be intentional about who you expose yourself to. Because there were moments where instructions were given privately by Jesus before they could have been revealed publicly. Why? Because timing matters. If you go back and read your Bible, there were times in there where Jesus did things. He did miracles. He did healings, all those things. And he said, I charge you that you tell no man. It wasn't time yet. Timing matters. There are seasons where God develops things quietly before they become visible openly. And sometimes silence is not fear. Sometimes people, well, that just means you're scared. No, it's not. It just means I'm intentional enough. I'm wise enough. I'm using discernment enough to know that sometimes I need to be silent until the incubation period is over, and then it's time to be released. I don't want my baby to be born prematurely. Silence is stewardship. Woo. Come on, y'all. Now put that in the chat. Silence is stewardship. This means I am guarding, I am protecting what I have, whatever that is. If it's that business idea, if it's that vision, dream, or goal, if you want to go back to school, all of those things, I'm protecting those things. I'm guarding it. I'm guarding it. I'm protecting what is still developing. So let's talk about when you don't get the response that you wanted. Oh boy. So I talked a moment about that one that when you try to celebrate and you go to them and they like, oh, okay. And again, let me put a pin in there for a second. Those are the very ones that when they do find out later, why you ain't tell me nothing. I didn't even know you was doing that. And then when you tell them, oh, okay. Come on now. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Y'all ain't got to tell me. I know. Been there, done that. Got a t-shirt for it. Do you hear me? Oh, dry. Is that what they call it? They call it dry. Dry. So let's talk about though when you get that response that you didn't get the response that you wanted. This honestly, if we're honest about it, when it happened to me, it hurt. This is the part that hurts because guess what? When you show up, when you're applauding other people, you're celebrating other people. I'm one of the biggest celebrators. I love to see people win. I love to see people make it. I love to see people level up and do their thing. I love it, y'all. I am genuinely one of those people who loves to see people elevate. Because guess what? You elevating doesn't water me down. You elevating doesn't mean that I still don't have value. You elevating doesn't rain on my parade. You elevating has nothing to do with my destiny. Why? Because everything that I am, everything that I will be, and everything that I will become is what God has for me. And I know that everything God has for me, I'm going to get it. Regardless of what you get, it has nothing to do with me. And when you understand that, then you can walk in security, not in insecurity. You can walk in security. You can celebrate the next sister. You can celebrate the next brother. You can encourage other people. You can lift up other people when you know who you are, and when you know that what God has for you belongs to you, and can't no devil in hell stop you, but you can stop you. Can't nobody stop you but you. Then you realize, you know what? I don't have to be salty. I don't have to be shady. I don't have to be dry. I can celebrate with my sisters. Why? Because guess what? I'm celebrating them. And guess what? Next week, it might be my turn. But when you do get a hold of those ones, that's just like, okay, wow, you sure you want to do that? That is discouraging, and it hurts. Because sometimes we secretly hope that certain people will celebrate with us. We secretly hope that the person we spend all night to helping them work through their problems, helping them all night work on their vision. You putting your stuff on the back burner to help them get their stuff up and going. You putting yourself on the back burner to show up for them. You're putting your stuff aside to make sure that you celebrate them and encourage them. And then they won't even show up for you the one time that you ask them. You don't ask them for much, but they don't even show up for you. I'm gonna plug this in here too. Yesterday, God was dealing with me about his character, and God's character is so much different than the character of man. You can, when it comes to God, you can't go by what you see with God. And you never know. Just when you think you got God figured out, God comes a different way. His character is so much different from man. So you can't go by what you see when it comes to God. But when it comes to man, you got to believe everything you see. Because a lot of times our disappointment comes with, we see it. They've shown us who they are. They've shown you that they don't support you. They've shown you that they ain't going to show up for you. And we still keep breaking our back for them. And they won't break a nail for us. And they are showing you day after day, but yet we still keep expecting them to do something different. But guess what, boo-boo? They keep showing us they are who they are. They're going to do who they do what they do. But God lets us know that his character is not like man. When it comes to him, don't believe what you see. When it comes to people, believe everything you see. Like Maya Angelou said, when people show you who they are, believe them. And yesterday I said, God, I hear you, and I finally get it. I finally get it. You break your back for people who won't even break a nail for you. We hope that they'll celebrate us. We hope that they'll support us. We hope that they'll be excited. We hope that they'll finally see us. We hope that they'll affirm us. But guess what? When they don't, it hurts. It hurts. If we are honest about it, it hurts. Anybody in this chat agree with me that it hurts? When sometimes something good happens, y'all, when something good happens to you and you have to sit there and go through your list of all these people, who can I call? Something is wrong with that picture. Something wrong with that picture. It hurts, especially when it's family. It hurts, especially when it's friends. It hurts. Yes, Jazz. It hurts, especially when it's people you have shown up for repeatedly. They ask you, you do. They got going, won't you do? You do. They got this going on, you go. You're encouraging. You're like, yes, I want to help. And then when you need them, one time, you can show up 50. The one time you need them, where they at? Where's the support? Where's the encouragement? Why are you not showing up? Now, one of the hardest emotional lessons is learning this. Everybody will not respond to your growth the way you imagine. Hey, good morning, sis. Doris. Hey. But everybody will not respond to your growth the way you imagine. And sometimes people cannot celebrate what they don't understand. They won't celebrate what they don't understand. They won't do it. They won't do it. They can't because they don't have the capacity. And some of them that have the capacity will not. Sometimes your evolution makes people uncomfortable. Woo! Right there. Now that deserves some fire in the chat, y'all. Your evolution makes people uncomfortable sometimes. And then the very first thing, this is how you know that it's making them uncomfortable. Because some of those little comments that you're going to hear is, oh, she thinks she all that now. Oh, because a few people know her name. Oh, she thinks she all that now. Oh, because she getting a few little engagements. Oh, she just thinks she all that. Your evolution makes people uncomfortable. And you have not changed in the way that you deal with people. You still the same, down to earth. You're still humble. You're still walking in humility. But guess what? Oh, she thinks she all that. No, I ain't changed. You changed. Your perception of me has changed because my evolution has made you uncomfortable. I'm still able to be humble. Sometimes your courage and your courageousness to confront their fears. Sometimes your courage, your courageousness confronts their fears. And so inwardly, they're salty. So instead of say, well, you know what? This is encouraging to me because I've been fearful to move. This is encouraging me to move forward with what God told me. But no. Instead of that, now they don't want to confront their fear on the inside. They want to stay complacent because their fear overrides the vision. And so they have to throw some salt in the wound. Sometimes your obedience will expose their excuses. And instead of shrinking, ladies, y'all hear me and hear me good. Gentlemen, if you're on here too. Instead of shrinking because they didn't clap, you just need to pivot. Put that in there. Pivot. Pivot. That's my word for this season. Pivot. Intentional and pivot. Don't abandon the vision because the audience was the wrong audience. Don't do it. Don't abandon the vision because the audience was wrong. Find different soil. Woo! Look here. Now put that in there. Put that in the chat. Find different soil. Oh my God. Find different soil. So let's talk about how we are going to pivot after disappointment. Let's talk about finding different soil. What do you do when you release something and the response wounds you? Well, the first thing you got to do is you got to stop over explaining yourself. You don't need, like Aaliyah said, a 4-page letter and close it with a kiss. You don't need a 20-page presentation. I'll pray for me. You don't need a 20-page presentation to convince people to respect your vision. You don't need that. If you need a 20-page presentation, guess what? You got to find you some different soil. That's bad soil. So the second thing is, so first you stop over explaining. The second thing is pull back emotionally without becoming bitter. And what I say when I say that, discernment is not about revenge. It's not about being bitter. It's not about mistreating anybody. It's not about acting ungodly. But stop allowing the same people an opportunity to emotionally re-injure you. Look at here. Now, I just gave y'all some therapy right there. Stop giving people access or the keys to continue to re-injure you. Pull back in that area. The third thing you got to do. So the first one was what? Stop over explaining. The second thing was pull back emotionally. The third thing is reevaluate your access. Their access, not yours, their access. Reevaluate their access. Because everybody does not deserve updates in real time. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. You don't have to put everything on there. As soon as something happened to you, boom, and go to social media. No. Do you know how many people on there, those monitoring spirits and those demonic spirits that's on there? And I say this all the time. Everybody showing you their teeth ain't smiling at you. Let them find out when everybody else find out. So reevaluate their access. And then you keep building anyway. You keep building anyway. One delayed response does not mean that your assignment is wrong. One uninterested person does not mean your vision lacks value. One disappointing conversation does not erase what God showed you. You do not have to stop what it is you're doing just because the person that you put, the vessel that you poured it into, couldn't hold it. Because that vessel had holes in it. Find you a vessel that ain't got no cracks or holes. You keep building anyway. What did Nehemiah do in the Bible? Oh, they was begging for him. They were trying to distract him. Like, I've been getting distraction all week, y'all. This conference is going to be off the chain because guess what? I have been getting hit with, oh, Jesus. You keep building anyway. What did Nehemiah tell Sanballat and Tobias them? He told them, why should I come down to you? Why should I stop building to come down to you? Why? Because I already know you don't mean no good. This is just a distraction. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep building anyway. I'm going to keep building anyway. Your response does not mean that what I saw and what I heard is not valid. It don't have any value. And then I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, as well, you have got to learn, most of all, finding another, we can find another vessel. But let me tell you something that this old girl done learned in her 40s. You got to learn how to celebrate yourself. Learn how to celebrate yourself, even while the vision is still becoming. Every step that you make toward fulfilling the vision, the dream, the goal, the plan, the business, anything. Celebrate yourself while the vision is still becoming. It doesn't have to be fully formed yet, but you learn how to celebrate yourself. If you made one call today, one connection today toward establishing that business, if you went online today and looked up the degree plans to go back to school, celebrate that. If you got enrolled in school today and you ain't even started your semester, celebrate yourself while the vision is still becoming. And guess what? Then some things, then it won't matter as much when other people refuse to celebrate you. But guess what? It's okay because somebody gonna celebrate you. All those people who know you and the people who should be celebrating with you, for every one of them who won't, guess what? God will send a total stranger that comes up to you and says, I know, because it happens to me all the time. It says, you know what? I follow you online. You are very encouraging. I read your book and oh my God, it kept me from committing suicide. Yes, that has been said to me. To God be the glory. And so for for those who don't, guess what? There is someone that God will send to give you encouragement just when you need it the most. To say, you know what? I was at this event that you spoke at, and oh my God, that was for me. It helped me. I was in a bad place, but when I left a different way. God will send somebody. But in the meantime, learn how to celebrate yourself. And I said I wasn't going to get on this live preach, but y'all, I keep feeling something bubbling, but I'm finna hurry and get off here. But learn how to celebrate yourself while the vision is still becoming. Some things won't make sense to people until after it's done. Some things won't make sense to people until after they succeed. And you know what? The thing about visionaries, I got some visionaries on here today. When you are a visionary, you definitely have to be mindful of when you put things out there, because visionaries can see the whole picture. People who are not visionaries don't have the capacity to see the whole thing. So when you are giving that information to someone who is not a visionary, and mostly don't even share your vision, then sometimes you can be setting yourself up when it's done prematurely, 9 times out of 10. And so, but some things just don't make sense to people until after they see it. But if you need constant applause to keep going, let me tell you, disappointments will keep stopping you. It'll keep slowing you down. You'll keep getting discouraged. And so today I want to leave you with this. Everything growing does not need immediate exposure. Some things need quiet. Some things need protection. Protect your baby. Protect that dream. Protect that vision. Protect that. Some things need development. Some things need wise stewardship. And sometimes the problem is not the dream. The problem is that you released it in an unsafe environment before it had roots. Ooh. Since everybody cannot handle fresh vision. Everybody cannot handle vulnerable information. Everybody cannot handle unfinished versions of you. And that does not mean that you stop growing. Guess what it means? Grow anyway. It means grow wisely. It means protect the seed until it's strong enough to survive exposure. All right, come on, y'all. Put some fire in the chat for that. I have really enjoyed you ladies being on here this morning and gentlemen being on here. I want to thank you all for joining me today for another episode of the Empower Her Experience podcast talk show. Before I go, I want to personally invite all of you on here, all of you on here, everybody watching. I want to invite your mama, your sister, your brother, your aunties, your uncles, your grandmother, your grandfather to this Empower Her Experience 2026. It begins Friday, June 26th at 7 p.m. and Saturday, June 27th at 10 a.m. We are going next level her. This is the type of conversations that we're having to push you all to the next level her. And healing is our upgrade. We have an amazing, eventful weekend planned for you. Y'all, we've been working hard to put this thing together. It is definitely not one that you want to miss. You want to be in the room. I'm like Bishop Jakes. You never know when this might be the last one. So you might want to be in the house. Yeah, y'all, I said it. You never know when this might be the last one. So you want to be in the room with these amazing ladies that are coming in this electrifying atmosphere. I want to see you there. It is free 99, y'all. It's free 99. Free. Free, free, free. No registration. You don't have to register. Fortunately, our vendors are sold out and it is closed, but you can still come. You can still show up. You can still get you some nuggets. We're gonna have a business masterclass that you definitely want to be involved in for those visionaries or for people who have something that they need to bring forth. We will have some information there, some nuggets that you definitely want to take home with you so that you can go next level in your business venture, your whatever it is, your dream, your goal, whatever that idea, organization, whatever you trying to establish. And I believe we're going to be talking about some grants and things like that as well. So that's something that you don't want to miss. We've got something for the whole you that make up the whole you. So I am definitely going to be looking for you to be in the house. We have Pastor Harris is going to be with us on Friday night. Woman of God's going to preach us under the benches. So we're gonna get our spiritual food. We're gonna get some business information there. And then we also have a mental health masterclass by yours truly. I'm going to actually be one of the speakers this time. Never done it, but at the Empower Her. But I'm going to do it this year. And so you definitely want to be in the room for that because I got a doozy for you. But we have our pink table talk that we're gonna have. This is gonna be we're gonna talk about some girl things. We're gonna deal with some of this menopause, y'all. Everybody talking about this menopause. Some of us are living it. Oh my goodness, and the struggle is real. And guess what? We need to know how to navigate that. So we do have a doctor who's going to be in the house and she's going to help us and let us know what's safe, what's out there, what are some things we can do because some people don't like to do medication and things like that. So we're going to talk about some natural things to do, some things we can do to help get through this and what it looks like because some of us think we're going crazy. We're not going crazy. We're just going through menopause. Okay. So we're going to talk about that with the Pink Table Talk Power Pause conversation. So you want to be in the house. Starbucks is going to be in the house giving out free coffee. We're going to have a breakfast with our Pink Table Talk. So you come on and listen. And then Dr. Mimi Brown out of Houston is going to be with us as well. She's going to have us all rolling under the benches too. Oh my goodness, y'all, it's going to be a weekend. We have some amazing vendors who are going to be there. Lacey Spuds and More is going to be back with us for the third year in a row. And if you have not had those brisket spuds and brisket tacos, oh my gosh. But we have, if I start calling vendors, I'm going to forget. But we also have the salsa queen is going to be in the house. Juanita is going to be in the house with the salsa. Adamy, y'all make sure y'all stop by the Adamy table as well because that lady got some natural products. Matter of fact, I'm glad I said it because I need to get some pain patches. But she has some pain patches. You put them patches wherever you're hurting. Oh my gosh. Wow. Just say, thank me later. But Adamy's going to be in the house. I mean, so many different vendors. People are always asking me everywhere I go. Women of all ages, all races, ethnicities, always asking me, I love your earrings. Where did you get those? Guess what? Lady Pack herself is going to be in the house. Everybody wants to get these earrings. She's going to be in the house with the earrings. So make sure you stop by her table. And so so many, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to leave anybody out. We got so many. I can't think right now, y'all, because I told you the girl been up all night. But I will be looking for you. Please be in the house. Come say hi to me. I know it's a crazy weekend, but guess what? I always, one of my favorite things about the Empower Her conference is greeting all the ladies and welcoming you and making sure you feel seen and you feel heard during the Empower Her weekend, especially every day, but especially during Empower Her weekend. And so I want to thank y'all so much for joining me. Good morning, Miss Sheila. But I want to thank y'all so much for joining me this morning on this Juneteenth Friday. I love y'all so much for just taking the time to tune in. And so much stuff y'all could be doing today. Especially, I know y'all off. Some of y'all was sleepy, could have slept in. But thank y'all for getting on and tuning in this morning. I want you to enjoy your weekend. Do something for yourself today. Do something special for yourself today. I don't care if it's go get your favorite ice cream or just a snack or sitting on your porch, listen to the birds chirp. But do something today to pour into you because we're always pouring into other people, but we need to fill our own cup. And as always, I want you to be amazing today and every day. I love y'all. Have a blessed day.